It's time for Monterey's Cookin' with Chef John Pisto. Today, John Pisto is going to show us how to prepare one of the basic sauces there is in Italian cuisine. I call it marinara, and you, how do you say that?
Most people do call it marinara. Now, the real pronunciation is marinara, okay? And this sauce is a very quick tomato sauce. In fact, when my daughter went down to UCLA to college, I showed her a couple of real quick sauces to mix. I didn't want her to be eating a lot of junk food. So this was one of her basic sauces. Now, with this sauce, you can end up doing 20, 30 different other sauces.
Okay.
It's a basic of all the tomato sauces. It can be done in a large frying pan, works beautifully, and it takes literally minutes. By the time your water is ready to boil, your sauce will be done, Mike. Okay, we're going to just start with some garlic.
Okay, again, this is, we've talked about this before.
Okay.
Garlic shouldn't be a big production. You smash it, and then you coarse
chop it. This garlic's real sticky, too. It's very, very strong.
It has a great odor, though. I like the smell.
Okay, we'll just chop this up a little bit. This is a lot of garlic.
Well, but we're going to be doing more than one sauce, right? But
I'll tell you, I like garlic. So, you know, I have a tendency to use a lot of it. And, you know, garlic's so good for you. Okay, we'll put it in there. And we'll put a little olive oil.
Olive oil. Once again, a nice virgin olive oil, right?
Yep. And I don't use too much. Fresh basil.
Fresh basil.
And you know what? It's available year-round. You know, it used to be just in the summer months, but now you get this is hothouse basil, and it's available. It's good quality. Give it a smell.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that nice? And this is the Italian flat leaf parsley. There wasn't any in the store. I had to borrow this from my mom. She has it growing in her backyard.
So can anybody go over to your mom's house if it's not available in the store?
Give her about a half hour's notice, though.
Okay. Italian flat leaf parsley. Once again, that's one of your themes because it has flavor.
Absolutely. It really has a lot of flavor to it. What I'm going to do is we're going to chop some up, and I'll pull it from here.
Now the basil, I know you're pulling it. You pull the leaves away from the stems.
Yeah, you don't want to use those stems. They're a little too coarse. They won't chop up as good.
And you just kind of mashed it. In other words, you don't have to chop each thing separately.
No.
Obviously, it's all going in the same place anyway.
Sure. We're going to brown this just a bit.
Now, what is this? The term for this is brown, or is it also a term saute? Is it the same thing, or I mean?
It would be used interchangeably. Yes, I'd say it's the same thing.
Okay, but in other words, when you say you're going to brown something, and the recipe says brown, whatever it is, you put a little oil in there or whatever. And
brown. Okay, brown. Technically, browning is what we're doing right now. Sautéing is when you make the pan, when you make items jump.
Oh,
and that's a French word, meaning if we are doing, let's say, bigger pieces of vegetable in here, you'd see chefs do this all the time.
When they do the flipping, yeah.
They flip.
I do that, and it gets all over my shoes,
yes.
so I don't do that.
Don't do it at home, because, you know, it's hot oil, that'll burn the heck out of you.
Unless you really know
what and it's, leave it to the pros.
All
We're going to put a little bit of that in here.
So that's basil and
a little parsley.
And Italian flat leaf parsley.
We'll just cook that down just a little bit. Now, when you add this tomato, be very careful, because that's going to be hot and it might splatter all over the place, so I lower the heat a little bit.
Okay, maybe drop the heat down. Now, once again, these are they've been skinned.
These have been skinned, these are peeled. We're going to add the juice and all.
And you squish them with your hands?
Yeah, usually my daughter was here, I let her do it. She likes to get her hands in there. Make sure the kids wash their hands first. And you notice my hands are clean. I've washed them all the time. Okay. So you get halfway, then just stick your hand right in the can. You see that? You're breaking it right up. Don't break them up too much. You could put these in a Cuisinart, but then it makes them like all crushed, and that's not what we want.
Well, then you'd miss the tactile sensation of playing tomato squish. Now you're putting 2 cans in.
We're going to use 2 cans. Now, 2 cans like this should be enough for 1 pound of pasta which will feed as an appetizer get 6 servings.
Well, your idea of servings and other people, I mean, what you think could serve 6 people, in my acquaintances serve about 12.
Well,
that's a lot of sauce.
We want to make sure there's enough sauce on it. You know, in Italy, Mike, they hardly use any sauce at all.
Really?
Yeah, it's very light on the sauce. They want you to taste the pasta. But I think we're accustomed to more sauce on our pastas.
I always kind of thought that pasta was just an excuse to eat sauce, though.
No, that's not the way it's done over there.
Ah.
Okay, now we fold it a little bit. Okay.
Oh,
this will come to a boil in a minute.
Now you do want to bring this to a boil?
We're going to have it come to a boil, and then we're going to lower it, and then I'm going to put a little bit of salt, not much. Put a little bit of salt, and we're going to put some pepper. And the true marinara always has a little crushed red pepper.
Okay, now again, crushed red pepper. You're talking just. Can you get it, Steve? Can you get a close up of that? When John says a little bit of crushed red pepper, that's what he's talking about.
You don't want to burn your mouth. You just want the hot pepper flavor there, but not. And if you use cayenne, will give it a different flavor. Right? Crushed red is the one to use.
Crushed red pepper.
Yep. Okay.
Along with your regular, that's just regular black pepper.
And regular black pepper. And I like to use fresh ground. And then I always give it a little shot of sugar.
Oh, really? Now,
just a touch of sugar.
Just on a marinara?
Yep.
Tomato sauce type?
You got to do it for the acid in there, see? That'll counterbalance the acid, which tomatoes naturally have.
Okay, John, now, what do we got out here? What is this?
Okay, while the marinara is going to finish cooking, what we're going to do is, I thought we'd do a little classic Sicilian dish called pasta con mulangiani fritti. However, because the people are so concerned now about our weight and we don't want to fry too many things, I've changed the recipe a bit, and I've gotten a stovetop grill, and we're going to grill the eggplant instead of frying it.
This is eggplant. You've sliced it? And,
this has been sliced. We've put a little salt on it. We bled it to get rid of the bitterness.
When you say, what do you mean bled it?
You put salt in it. It'll leach out the bitterness of the eggplant.
Oh, okay. Now, and then do you just leave the salt on? Or
no, then you wipe it off. As the water comes to the top, I've already wiped these off.
Oh, that's what you were doing before. I wondered. I thought maybe thought they were a pair of shoes or something.
No, yeah, these do look like something you might wear.
You've had salt to draw some of the liquid out, which is bitter, and now you're wiping that off.
Yep. Okay, and we just add a little bit.
Now you're putting olive oil.
Brush a little olive oil. Don't use a brush that you've used before for painting, of course.
Yeah, unless it's a Wagner power brush. Okay, it should be a brush dedicated to.
Buy a good brush. You can buy those cheap brushes, and you just use it for cooking.
Okay. I feel better. I didn't know if you'd maybe varnished the cabinets or something like that.
Put a little bit of pepper.
And then what was that last thing?
That was a little bit of dehydrated garlic, just a little bit for flavor.
Garlic powder?
Yes.
Okay, so you put pepper on there and garlic powder.
Yes. Now you see how this is starting to cook already, Michael?
Okay. Now what's happening here is that it's not boiling, but well, it is kind of.
It's just starting to come to a boil.
And the tomatoes are kind of breaking down, and you're getting a real sauce out of this.
Just starting to make a sauce.
Oh, yeah. Okay, John, now this is just about ready, right?
Just about ready to go. See how this thickened up, Mike? See how nice that sauce is now?
Oh, okay.
See?
Yeah.
We don't want it too thick. I mean, you can keep reducing it, but you know, in the old days, they used to reduce. That's not good for you. This is a fast sauce. This is done. How long did it take?
What do we, 12 minutes
maybe? Yeah.
10 or 12 minutes.
This water's ready to go. Luckily, we sent somebody to the store to get me some whole pepper.
Okay, now this is whole, you talk about, it says whole black peppercorns.
Whole black pepper.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Now, how do you grind it?
Now, I like to use, the fresh. The flavor is just unbelievable. Now, this is a coffee grinder.
This is your...
This used to be our coffee grinder.
Now, you don't make coffee now out of this, do you? Otherwise, it'd be real hot coffee.
It would be interesting.
Yeah. So it's just a coffee grinder that you know how to use?
Right? You just push it, and I do a coarse ground, and now I can use this for the next few days. See that? It's nice. I like coarse ground.
All right, look at that.
Look good. Smell. Doesn't that smell good?
Ooh, man, is that... Oh,
Isn't that
yeah.
something? Now that's pepper with flavor. The other stuff,
man.
you know, we'll just put a little bit in there.
So you're just...
Put a little bit here.
And I'm left holding the bowl.
Okay. And I'll just leave this here, and I'll use this over the course of the next few days.
Okay.
Okay, our eggplant is done.
All right, that's the grilled, stovetop grilled eggplant.
Yep.
The reason you like to grill it instead of fry it is you don't use as much oil, so it's healthier.
It's healthier for you, and it's not as much calories.
Now, what do we do?
Okay, now we're going to do with our pasta. We got the water boiling.
Got the water boiling and salt.
Never do this at home.
Never do that at home?
I did not put the salt in there. That's what I test for.
Okay, you always want boiling water and salt when you're doing your pastas.
Because that'll make it that'll have the water boil even faster. And you got to have boiling water for pasta, otherwise they'll gum up on you.
Okay.
See, that's enough salt. At least a gallon of water, Mike.
A gallon of water?
Per pound.
Per pound. Now, what kind of pasta is this?
This is a linguine.
Linguine.
Yes.
Now, that's thicker than angel hair.
Yes. This is going to
It's
cook.
like twice as thick.
Yeah, this will take about 10 minutes to cook.
Okay.
When you put pasta in, spread it out a little bit so it doesn't bunch up on you.
Okay.
And let it come back to the boil.
Okay. I see what happened when you put it in. It
stops boiling.
Yeah.
So you want this to come back. And never break the pasta. You know, it makes the pasta taste different.
You're kidding me.
No, we had talks about this when we were in Italy during Christmas time. We were talking to our friend.
Don't break the pasta.
Never, you know, when the pasta, when you find it in lengths, never break that. Just, I mean, you have to work with it a little bit.
Yeah, but it gets... Now, here's again, we've talked about this before, this al dente, al fresco. What is this?
Okay, al dente is when you cook the pasta to the point that it bites, it has a bite to it.
Okay, John, now, this pasta is probably taken, what, 10 or 12 minutes to prepare?
Follow the directions.
Yeah. And
best way to do is to taste.
Okay, this is... Now, this is...
Don't throw it against the wall, though.
Okay. All right.
Now, that's got a nice chew to it.
This is al dente.
That's al dente.
Okay. Well, okay, al dente. Who's al fresco? Is that al...
That's his cousin.
Okay.
There's al fresco and al dente.
I think they went out with Sal. You know, Sal was going to be here today. But
that was a cousin. Yeah, he was a cousin.
He went out there picking mushrooms somewhere out in Hollister, I think. I don't know.
Okay, into the colander.
Okay. Now, this pasta you have to drain.
Yes.
Right?
Unlike
the angel hair.
Yes. Drain this pretty good. Okay, and this is what I do. I mean, let's use common sense when we cook, folks.
Okay, so you pour it back.
I mean, put it back in the pot.
Back in the pot.
Look, and then we pour the sauce right in here. Okay, stir it around.
Oh.
You see?
Okay.
You do this.
Now, you just kind of mash it around in there.
Just mix. The sauce is being mixed up. Look at that. Doesn't that look nice? See that? See, you still got chunks of tomato. See the pieces of the garlic?
Does that smell good?
You know how good this is going to be? Now we're going to put it in our, you know, these are special dishes that are made strictly for pasta. And it's good to have this type of plate, long, and we have to have edges, of course.
Otherwise it
It's going to make a mess.
All right, so this is...
Okay, now this goes in here. Okay, and now we're going to get the eggplant. I mean, we're talking, this is real Sicilian. Look at this. And when you dish this out, you give everybody some eggplant, and you give them some of the pasta, of course. Now use your hands. I mean, you can use a fork, but geez, you know, God gave us hands, folks. So use them.
Okay? I'll go along with that. Now, we're going to be talking cheese here.
Okay, two basic kind of cheese, really, Italian cooking. The basics for pasta is the Romano, which is made out of the goat milk, and the cow milk, which is the Parmesan. These are domestic. These are not imported. Okay. If you want to buy domestic or imported Parmesan, you're looking, I think it's around $15 a pound.
Oh, that's nice.
This you can buy for, I think it's the $5 range.
But buy this and do your own grading.
Yes. With this kind, this has a lot of flavor to it. I want you to taste this. Eaten by itself, some people like to eat it by itself with some fruit. But this is really, it's very, very sharp.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of flavor. And this is quite, I should have made you taste it the other way around. This is real mild.
Now this was Romano.
This is a Romano, yeah. It's made with the goat's
real
milk.
Sharp, yeah.
And I mean, boy, it smells up the kitchen.
Oh.
But it's a good smell.
The Parmesan is a little sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
Now I could eat the Parmesan. I could slice that, put that on crackers.
Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna grate some like this, just so some of it'll melt a little bit. You know, in our house, we pass the chunk of cheese around with the grater. We don't like to pre-grate. See? And you do that, and you get some basil and some parsley and some basil from here. And you know what, Michael? You got yourself a nice little dinner with a nice bottle of wine, some bread. You eat like a king.
All right, so here we are, folks. This is
Pasta Marinara with grilled moulangiana.
all right.